Hello everybody and welcome to Let's Code for the Older Folk. My name's Leslie Thatcher. Hope you're all very well. We're going to carry on where we left off last time. And what we're going to be looking at today, we're going to be looking at digital inputs and outputs, okay, with MicroPython. So that's what we're going to be looking at. As an example, what we're going to do, we are going to build a circuit, simple circuit, with a button and LED, and then we're going to configure or write the sketch that when we press the button, the LED comes on. Now there are many different types of inputs and outputs. So for instance, we got a press button here. That's an input. We can have different sensors, such as a heat sensor, temperature sensor, light sensors, and we get different sorts of outputs. On this occasion, we're going to be using an LED, but you've got such things as speakers, monitors, little screens. So this is our digital inputs and outputs that we're going to be looking at. All right. Now, just want to give you a couple of quick tips. That let's just have a look at this. Okay, let's have a look at our pinouts. All right. These are our GPIO pins, general purpose input and output pins. Now, as you can see, they've all got more than one use, so each pin can be used for different functions. For instance, we got 22, which is I2C, which is a communication protocol, which is it's 20. Let me have a look on this one. It's where's me I2Cs? Yeah, we got GPI 22. GPI 21. Now, not all ESP32s have the same pinouts as this. All right, this is the W Room 32. Now, what I suggest you do when you purchase your ESP32s, you get different types. Now, we've got this type here. Now, as you can see, let's have a look. It hasn't got the pin numbers on it. Pin numbers are underneath. All right. So the manufacturer of this has decided to put the pin numbers underneath. All right. So what you'll forever be doing is counting along the pins 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 to get to where you want to plug your peripherals in. So what I suggest you do, if you can see here. Hopefully you can see it. All of the pin numbers down the side face up so I can see them. So we can see them. And therefore we can easily attach the pins without all this counting lark. Alright? All this counting lark. Now, what was I going to do? Right, let's go back to overhead. Yeah, and let's go back to our drawing. This is a circuit we're going to build. It's a simple little circuit. All right. And what I'll try and do is talk you through the components and how we hook them up. Right, so let's do our first circuit. So, now if we look at our, let's see. Okay, hopefully you can see that. Right. This is our LED. Now on our LED, we've got two legs. We've got a long leg and we've got a short leg. You can see that. Yeah? Now the long leg, count that as live if you like. Count that as live. Alright, so I'm going to follow this drawing. Mine might have a few modifications because it's not set up exactly the same. My breadboard. So I'm going to put that in. Now what I suggest you do when you are cabling up components, do one at a time. All right, one at a time. Right, so there you are. I've got my right leg, long leg on the right hand side. That is the long leg. Right, so I'm going to go for my left leg and I'm going to get a resistor, 220 to 330 ohm resistor. Now if you haven't got your kits, I've got a link down below to Sunfounder where you can get your kits, and it supplies all of your resistors and all the components you're going to need for the little experiments we're going to do. All right, so as you can see, I've put in to the left leg. I'm going to go over the middle trench. Right, so from the left leg over the middle trench, and I'm going to plug that in just like that. Hopefully you can see that. So from the left leg on the LED over the trench to a hole over the other side. Now hopefully I have done a session on breadboards, so it might be an idea if you look at that. But just to remind you that these are connected, and our power rails are connected long ways. Right, there's no connection over the trench. Right, so have a look at that. All right, the breadboard. Okay, so we then take the resistor. I'm going to take a black cable, all right, and the resistor, I'm just going to make sure I've got this right. Bear with me. To make sure I've got this schematic right. All right. And then I'm going to take the resistor and I'm going to take it to ground. Right, so the resistor goes from there and it goes to my ground rail on my power. Right, then I'm going to take my blue cable and I'm going to go from my right leg of my LED. Right, and I'm going to get my little magnifying glass. Now I'm going to go to a pin 5 on my ESP32. And let me make sure. ESP. Yep. Okay. So that's pin 5 on my ESP32. Now, my button. Now, there's some things we need to know about the button. If we look, oh, you can see the, it's like a crab, isn't it? It's like a crab. I don't understand why. It's like a crab. Now, the crab between here and here, they are connected. We turn it this way, they are not connected across there. All right? They are not connected. So what we need to do, get the crab-like feature. All right? And we go across the trench. Like so. All right? We go across the trench. And now, what we need to do is we need to get our second resistor. All right? From our left leg, go across another gap. if you like, on our breadboard. All right? And from there, we need to go from the other end of the resistor again to our ground rail. All right, our ground rail is there. I then need a green cable going between the resistor and ground, taking this to pin 4 on our ESP32. To pin 4 correctly, yes. To pin 4, so using pin 4 and pin 5. And finally, I need a red cable. Okay, a red cable to go from the right claw, okay, on the switch, on the press switch, and I need to go to 3.3 volts. Right, so that's my 3.3 volt rail there. All right. In my circuits, everything's okay. There, round, that goes 5, that goes. All right. So, hopefully you can see that and you can copy that. Okay, so pause the video and we'll go from there. So here we are at our Thony IDE, Integrated Development Environment. All right, and we got the file open, a main.py. Remember in the last session, we wrote a small bit of code to have our LED flashing on and off. Just highlight that code. Oh, obviously stop it first, right, by pressing stop. Okay, highlight it and delete it. All right, because we're going to be writing another simple little sketch, and we'll be going through it with the a quick outlook and not outlook. What's the word I'm looking for? Meanings to the code. All right, so let's type the code first. All right, so from machine space import pin, capital P on the pin, enter. From time, import, enter. Right, and let's put a little space there. Then we're going to go LED equals pin, capital P on the pin, brackets on. Remember we put that on a pin 5. Our LED is on pin 5. And it's comma, capital P on the pin, dot, out, all capitals, brackets off. Excuse me. Notice how the bracket has changed colour to an orange, showing you that you've closed the correct bracket. Whenever you open a bracket, you need to close it. That's the same with curly brackets. All right, and enter. Then we've got a button. Equals pin, capital P, all right, on the pin, brackets on. Remember, we put that on pin 4, bracket, comma, space, pin, and then we want dot, and it's an input. All right, it's in. Okay, and that's brackets off. Changes colour again. Now, the meat of the code. All right, it's called a while loop. We call it a while loop. While, true, capital T on the true, colons. Now, what you'll notice is after colons, we'll press enter and we get an auto indent. It's important as we go through our coding and our sketches these indents are all in line. All right, all in line. So it's LED and it's dot value, brackets on, it's button, dot value. At this stage of the game, we're not going to put any value in there. All right, there's brackets on, brackets off, and close our first bracket like so, and then sleep, brackets on. Whenever we do time on a computer, it's always in milliseconds. Or whenever we do coding, it's always in milliseconds. So 0.1, brackets off. Rightio. All right. So let's just quickly go through. Right. You start by importing classes. All right. So the first thing we've done is we imported two classes, pin and sleep. Pin comes from machine, so we've imported that class. And from time, we've imported the class sleep. All right. And then what we've done, we've created a object or two objects. One is an LED, all right, and that's on pin 5. We connected to pin 5, and that's an output, a digital output. We've created a second object, all right, which is a button. We put that on pin 4, all right, and that's a digital input. All right, that's a digital input. Then what we've done, we've put a value, okay, for the button state. So pass the button value expression as an argument to the LED value. So basically what that's saying is when the button is pressed, light the LED, and the button is released, turn off the LED. All right. Okay, so it always returns the value of 1. All right. Okay. So what we need to do now is go File, Save As. We'll save it to our MicroPython device. We've already got main.py. It'll have the old code in it at the moment. We're going to update that code, so we'll click OK. Do you want to overwrite? And click yes. I will get an error, all right, because I've already done it, all right? So we'll OK that. Next thing we need to do, you need to start the code. As you can see at the bottom, it shows you that we've started the sketch. I'm now going to go to overhead, so where you can see, and this is the, keep your fingers crossed. We've got the circuit right and everything right. I'm going to press the button and on it comes. As long as I leave my button pressed, it will stay on. I'm now going to release and it goes off. That is your first little circuit and your first sketch using MicroPython. Great stuff. Great. Things only get not necessarily complicated, but they do get a little bit more intense as we go on. But anyway, thanks very much for watching. Hope you learned a little bit of something from that. Please give us a thumbs up. Please don't forget to subscribe. And I'll see you in the next session. Bye.